Hello, 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 how is everybody? This is John Mason. Tomorrow is Mother's Day, and that is a time we pay our respects to all the women in our lives, our mothers, and our wives, and our girlfriends, and our sisters, and every other woman we come across. Happy Mother's Day, ladies. And if we want the best for the women in our lives, we must protect their reproductive rights. There are all these states going around that places the most onerous restrictions on abortions. Like you can only have an abortion after so many weeks before you even know, the woman even knows that there's a fetus inside of her. And you remembered Katie Britt, the senator from Arkansas, who had this very bad case of ham acting after Biden's State of the Union address. Is that the best the Republicans can do? Well, anyway, she has this bright idea of a database. She's proposing this bill that would establish a database for all women who are pregnant. Hello, 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 John Mason. How is everybody? Hope you're all well. For decades, as I have observed, the Republican conservatives, through their vehicle, the Republican Party, have often said that every time a Democrat candidate is elected president, that person is a usurper and therefore does not belong in the White House. The Republicans and the conservative movement in general have tended to believe that the government and the country is all theirs to run as they see fit. When Bill Clinton got elected as president in 1992, the Republicans said that since Ross Perot ran as an independent candidate, therefore Clinton wasn't truly elected by the voters. And when Barack Obama won in 2008, and there came the conspiracy theory that Obama was really born in Kenya, not Hawaii, and therefore unqualified to be president. And that's how Donald Trump got his start politically, in spreading all those birther lies, like including sending detectives to check on his documentation. And Obama kept having to pull out his birth certificate, the document of live birth, that showed that he was born in Hawaii, i.e. the United States. They are Republicans, trust me guys, you are so not entitled to the White House. It is not your gift, it is not your birthright. It is the birthright of the people of the United States. It is the voters of the United States who decide who gets to be elected president, not you. And let's keep that in mind. And that's what we're up against. The Republicans, and like I said, the conservative movement in general, believe that only they have the right to govern the country. And we have to combat that. We have to organize in our workplaces, in our neighborhoods, in our communities, to resist this gang that think they own the presidency. By our organization, by our banding together, by our looking out for one another, we will win. And now I come to the question, is Donald Trump a man? That's a weird question for me to ask, but we are in weird times. Tomorrow marks Donald Trump's 80th birthday, and he is celebrating his 80th birthday by a UFC match on the grounds of the White House with that rigged up, God knows what it is. And he's going to have the pleasure of seeing two sweaty, muscular men beat the crap out of each other. And you remember that there was a clip of Trump talking to a UFC fighter. Oh, you're a handsome guy. You're a very good-looking guy. You're too good-looking to be a fighter. And then talking about when he was at the graduation ceremony at the Coast Guard Academy. And he called up one of the graduating cadets and he says, "Oh, look at this guy here. Ain't he so big and handsome and muscular?" Makes you wonder about Trump, huh? And I further include these attempts to portray himself through the magic of AI as his hero, muscular, virile He-Man. Like the one AI-generated picture out of his social media doohickey, as an astronaut, helmet off, mind you, on the moon, waving a flag, and Trump with his digital trading cards as a firefighter, a special ops soldier, a policeman, a cowboy. and this one AI picture of him as a big, strong football star with muscular male cheerleaders in the background. About that, and a picture of him as some sort of combat general, with his foot on the jeep and all. But all this time, wearing this Purple Heart, like the old veteran gave him his Purple Heart and said, "Oh, he's wanted a Purple Heart." But do you know what it takes to get one? And we're talking about a guy who scorns our military people as suckers and losers. And a guy who dodged the draft 5 times, and all of a sudden, sprouting bone spurs. I wish I could have had him in the Army. So he can get out of the draft. Actually, the podiatrist did a favor for his father. In other words, he knows he doesn't fit into the virile He-Man image he's trying to portray himself via AI. He knows that he is weak and cowardly. And that includes his fascination for big, strong He-Man dictators like Putin and Kim Jong-un and Xi Jinping. They're He-Men! And that's the kind of mentality lurking around in 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. The only thing I think about is being bandied about is toxic masculinity infecting our political discourse. And a further reason that we must band together in our communities, in our work sites, in our houses of worship, and organize and educate and vote. I know midterms elections are they're pretty scanty with voter turnout, but look at the stakes we're playing with. Look what we're up against. A deranged sociopath lurking around the White House, contaminating the Oval Office and his pants with his venom, with his ignorance, with his racism, with his hate, with his pettiness, as an army of hired goons paid for with our tax dollars. But freedom fighters over the centuries have fought and bled and died for the right to vote. Can we do any? All we have to do is try over to the voting station, go in the machine, make the selections, and you're done. Don't let them frighten you. We have centuries of freedom fighting behind us. Let's not give up at all. Get out there and learn and vote. Okay. And on that cheery note, advertisements. All this work I do on my media, this podcast, my YouTube, my poetry, my fiction, my blog, they're all work. And I need to be compensated for my work, excuse me. I put money out to put this material on these various platforms, and I need to be compensated. So, and to raise it up to a higher level. So, please get on my website, johnomason.com, and click either the PayPal button or the Buy Me a Coffee button and see what I can give. I would greatly appreciate it. Thanks. And also, Hemperific is a lovely little CBD product store located on Snyder Avenue near 15th Street in South Philadelphia. You'll find some of the finest cannabis-infused products. Gummies and candies and drinks and teas and flour and lip balm and hand sanitizer and dog treats. Dog treats, yeah. Look them up, please. Grow it. HemperificLLC.com. And also my beloved career and business coach, Michelle Snow. Michelle is excellent in helping you develop your professional career or small business. Let you know what you're doing right, where you need work, and help you network with other up-and-coming entrepreneurs and professionals. Do please look her up. growwithsnow.com. Okay then. We know what we gotta do, and we gotta do it. Organize, educate, vote. Do please have a lovely weekend. Shabbat Shalom. Bye.